Good morning. Here we go again. A little bit later today, as it's a Saturday. The gym doesn't open as early as it does during weekdays. And also, I'm just running a little bit late. So struggling a little bit today. It's been a pretty busy week, pretty hectic. But I still try and maintain that daily discipline, even on Saturdays of getting to the gym and getting some exercise in before the day starts. So here we go. What am I going to talk about today? Well, one of the things that I've been thinking about quite a lot recently is reading. What place reading plays in our daily lives, how important it is or isn't, and what the benefits of it are. I've been making some really conscious effort recently to try and read more. As a child, being home educated, reading played an absolutely enormous part in my upbringing. It's what I spent most of my time doing. We didn't have a television. I've never had a games console. I was really limited in terms of interaction with movies, films, music, anything like that. So aside from playing outside and being a kid and running around and doing all that good stuff, reading was probably what I did most of. We would absolutely devour historical fiction. That was probably one of our strongest points, one of the subjects we were most interested in, and it really did help us as youngsters shape and direct our thoughts, our imagination, our understanding of past events. What's bothered me really more recently is that I haven't either had or made time to read, and I think that's an enormous loss. Reading is wonderful for your mind. It's great for your vocabulary. It's very calming. It's relaxing. It's helpful from a general knowledge perspective. It brings so many benefits in terms of learning and development as an individual. So I've been working really hard over the last maybe 6 weeks or so to try and consciously put aside some time each week to read, even if it's 20 minutes, even if it's half an hour. I found that really helpful. I've kind of failed in the last week or so, to be honest with you, with busyness, maybe a little bit of a lack of determination as well. But I am really kind of keen to make sure I keep that going, just because I know it's good for me, and I do really enjoy it. Even if you think about it from the perspective of before you go to bed, typically before you go to bed, you'll be on your smartphone, maybe on Facebook, sending a few messages, maybe having a look at Twitter, watching the odd video on YouTube. It doesn't really help calm you down. It kind of psychs you up and it gets your mind going in a very kind of intense, stimulated way, in a way that reading a book doesn't. Reading a book can be so much more calming. It's a much more mellow activity. So what have I been reading? Well, I've been reading primarily books around business, startups, alternative ways of working, and that's probably really because of where I am in my life at the moment, and that's something I'm going to talk about a fair bit more. Really, give you guys a little bit of an understanding of what I do on a day-to-day basis, what I want to do and where I want to go, and also a little bit of how did I get from the end of being homeschooled to where I am today. So that period, what happened, and how did I get to the position I'm in today? So the books I've been reading then, the three main books that I'm working on, I like to have a couple on the go at once because I'm a fan of variety and change. So I like to be able to dive in and out between different books as to whatever suits the mood and whatever I feel is kind of the most appropriate and helpful at the time. So the three books are, firstly is Free Range Human by Marianne Cantwell. I'll put the link in the description so you can go and check it out yourselves. But I share a really similar life profile, if you like, to Marianne, bar the homeschooling bit. She got to the point where she was a director in a consultancy firm by 26. and kind of doing really well, making really good money, and then gave it all up to go, as she describes it, free range. And that's the concept, that you can essentially freelance across a number of different disciplines and generate income and wealth without just constantly serving one business or one organization or entity in a 9-to-5. So that's been really helpful for me, that book. I'm still in the middle of it, and I'm enjoying that a lot. Marianne writes really well, and I can feel like, I really emphasize a lot of the things she's saying. The other book that I'm, again, probably around halfway through, maybe just under halfway, is the very attractively titled The Millionaire Fast Lane by MJ DeMarco. That's, again, a really good book. MJ himself, he's a successful businessman, entrepreneur. He made an awful lot of money selling a business. He sold his first web design business, and has continued to invest in further businesses and make money through those sales and exits since. So he's great, and what he really does is he breaks down 3 different approaches to wealth and to finance and to how you view your working life, and that's really helpful. The point I'm at in the book now is where we've got to a stage where he's projected really good clarity to the reader about what those 3 different approaches are, the characteristics, the merits and dismerits of each. So what I'm really excited about now is getting to the point where he actually talks about what he would describe as the fast lane, and helps us in terms of our understanding of what that really is. So excited to do that, and continue that on. The final book then, which I've not really started yet, but I'm really looking forward to, is Tim Ferriss. It's a #1 bestseller book. It's really well known, and it's called The 4-Hour Work Week. So the kind of the slogan on the back is that Tim Ferriss went from working 88 hours a week and $40,000 a year to 4 hours a week and $40,000 a month. So I mean, that's attractive. Everybody wants to know how to do that. So definitely going to give that a read. Tim's a great guy. I follow him on a lot of social media, read a lot of his blog, and that is good. So really excited to get into that as well. So the point, what I want to say is, make time for reading. Put time aside. Don't just lose yourself in the very fast-paced 140 character world of Twitter. You know, be a little bit more intellectual than that if you can. And it doesn't mean starting with great subjects and complex subjects. Just start off with something you're interested in, you have a real passion for, and develop that. Develop a real taste and a love for reading. I think it's going to take time. It isn't going to come naturally. I certainly know that after the period at which I'd stopped reading books and I had to pick it up again, I actually found it slightly difficult. It was a little bit laborious going through line by line. I didn't have that smooth flow that I used to have when I read. So definitely try that. Let me know what you're thinking about reading. I've got a ton more books that I have read that I'd probably like to share with you, and get some ideas going. Write some comments about books you found helpful. Maybe if you're a little bit more experienced in that side of things, and yeah, share your information. I'd love to hear it. Now to the gym.